if you want to work on Kubernetes effectively, so you need to understand its architecture. So basically Kubernetes comes as it contains two types of nodes: control plane or master node, worker nodes or data plane nodes. Control plane basically controls everything inside the cluster. So for instance, if you want to run this command kubectl run nginx, and then it's gonna interact with API server on the control plane. If you want to interact with cluster, this is an entry point. So whether you're gonna use kubectl or any means of user interface, so it's gonna talk to API server. So this API server talks to scheduler. For instance, you want to place this, you want to run this container or pod. Then once you enter the command, it talks to API. That API talks to scheduler, and this scheduler looks for suitable worker nodes. So it's gonna scan these worker nodes, whether it looks for whether they have sufficient CPU, memory, and everything. And then once it finds suitable worker node, it's gonna hand over that to kubelet. So basically, on the worker node, you have kubelet, kubeproxy, and container D runtime. So this runtime, earlier it used to be Docker, but now they standardized it to container D or CRI-O. So what is this container D container runtime? Basically, imagine you have a Python application you want to run on your machine. First, you need to have Python in your machine, right? In the same way, if they want to run containers, they need to have a container runtime. So that's why they're going to use container D or CRI-O. So basically, this kubelet picks that task from scheduler, and then it's gonna pull image and it's gonna run container. And this kubeproxy, this is basically networking tool, so it makes sure the parts and other components inside the cluster, it's gonna have the networking connectivity. Even we're gonna have kubelet and kubeproxy and control plane as well, but it has taints. That's why you won't be able to run your workloads on. You're gonna understand what are taints and everything in further videos. So that's the scheduler thing. And what is control manager? Whenever you create for instance, maybe deployments, maybe replica sets, all of these control managers will be handled by this control manager. So don't worry about replicas and deployments, you're gonna understand them soon. Just remember, control manager looks after the workloads and everything, how many nodes we have. So you're gonna just look after all of these things. And the HCD basically, it's a key value pair database. It's a distributed database. Why we call it distributed database? Because if you have three control planes, each control plane have HCD. So it's just gonna distribute that database. So this HCD contains all information about cluster, how many nodes we have, how many parts we have, what are the deployments, we have any secrets. Just all information about the cluster contains in HCD. That's a single source of truth. And then we have an optional cloud control manager. If you deploy this infrastructure on AWS, maybe Azure, maybe on Google Cloud Platform, so this cloud control manager looks after all your cloud part. For instance, if you want to create a load balancer by using service type load balancer, so this cloud control manager is going to create a load balancer on your cloud platform. And then if you have workloads, if you created this cluster on cloud, then it's gonna register, deregister these nodes as well. So that's what it does. So and then always make sure to have a hard number of control plane, because we need to achieve quorum. So imagine you have 1, 2, and 3. You have 3 nodes, 3 control planes, and then if you has to one has to be the leader. So if these two vote this one, then this one is going to be leader. So majority, just need to have majority votes. So that's how they achieve quorum. So always try to have a odd number of control planes. And then you have self-manage and manager. What is self-manager? Just managing this control plane ourselves, it's going to be a headache. So if you don't want to have that headache, you can hand over this control plane responsibility to your cloud provider. So that's you can call manage cluster. Because for instance, AWS, we got EKS. If you create this cluster using EKS, that AWS is going to look after this control plane. So you don't need to worry about it. For that, they're going to charge you $0.10 per hour. So that's 24 hours and 30 days in a month. That's going to be $72 a month just to maintain this control plane. Again, extra you need to pay for these worker nodes, and if you create a load balancer, you're going to pay for that as well. But just to maintain this control plane, they're going to charge you $72 per month. So if I could jump into this one, let's run the command run test, I'm just gonna create a pod by using nginx image. Now if you run the command, so instead of kubectl we set up a alias k equal kubectl. That's why you can use k get po. Now you can see that. So if I describe it, don't worry about these commands, soon you're gonna learn it. K describe po test. Now you can see that here. So this one got from a scheduler, and then our kubelet pulled that image nginx, and then it successfully created container and started it. So that's what a kubelet does basically. If you don't understand deployments, parts and everything, don't worry, you're gonna it's gonna make sense once you understand them. So that's all for this video. Oh, thank you so much for watching.